Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time we pursued the possibility that, the victim could have been poisoned. And Giselle Brett here apparently was doing research on it, and noteworthy is that the poison is only lethal if it's injected into your blood, or like it gets in your bloodstream, not if you eat it. So, we've arrived at this point now where she's actually destroyed the bottle that contained the poison. So now, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but now we're just using our power of memory here to remember that there was actually blood on the plate here that contained the beef. So when I went into this, right, I played the other Ace Attorney games, and each of those games, each of the lawyers that you play as has their own, like, quote-unquote, like, superpower. I was not aware if Ryunosuke had a superpower. This may just be his superpower, quote-unquote. And that's just his, like, ability to remember things better. His power is just good memory. But anyway, so as we're remembering right now, there was blood on the plates. Let's go ahead and point that out. Say there is a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. And I've just now remembered it. Ah, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Well, maybe it's not like memory, it's just more like he just has really good observational skills, and he's just now remembering it. Something like that. Come on, then, let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me. I've never seen that word before. It's been niggling me for a while. That something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whoever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... Just gotta point out the blood. Check that! Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this! I don't understand what the evidence is. Is he just gonna ask him, hey, do you also remember blood on the plate? Ugh, he's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. I still don't understand how we can convict her of, very obviously destroying evidence in the court. Have you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day? Wait a minute! Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, little boy? Okay, well, she's gonna interrupt him just to say the same thing. It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. However, with the black and white photos is that you can't tell if there's blood on the plate. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on. It was a spattering of blood. What? This guy just said what, like 10 times this case. Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Yeah, because the blood would be on the other side, not on the table. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. But I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front. Then there's no way the blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Yeah, I wouldn't believe myself either, honestly. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. How much tampering of the crime scene have you been doing, man? This is ridiculous. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Dude, wipe your mouth, man. And we could find out for sure whether or not there has been a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. I'm still wondering if his coughing in the blood means anything, or if that really is just a medical condition he has that's unrelated to the case. Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! Dang, that's gotta be some really old meat then. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. I don't like how they're not showing it. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. Let's get the luminol test going. Spray it down. But no, that's impossible. Do we even have that in this time period, though? I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I don't know if we can do any kind of scientific analysis on that. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Heh heh heh. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace of the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Is it possible that... What if... Okay, no, that... You know what probably is? The plates were probably switched somehow. That has to be it, right? Was the plate I saw? Or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Yeah, you see, what I'm remembering, right, is that they said the sergeant was also eating the steak. So we should ask him to see the sergeant's plate as well in case they were switched. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Is that even possible? That's impossible. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. No! No! Does the defense have any objection? Yes! Yes! That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Can I, do I get to look at it in here real quick? Let me see something. Let me go back to the photo. Okay, so here the missing bit of the steak is towards the emblem. If I go back to this, oh no, it's the same here. Let's just examine it and see what that gets us. Oh! Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's Kabod. Oh, that's where the dude's coin went. And the hallmark of it from the Hoy era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, Did you say it was Ahoy Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of Ahoy Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bouillon and bouillon. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Alright, so what this means, right, is that the sergeant probably stole the coin, hid it underneath his meat, and this is evidence of that. And then Giselle Brett switched the plates to hide the bloodstain. Is there anything more to say about this here? Certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoi era too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well. Look. What are you thinking? Of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. Or it's going to be raisins. I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I was just gonna say, are you looking for prizes in the meat? It's not a cereal box, dude. I think you might have gotten the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. Kaban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Alright, well, we've examined that. So now, can I say, there's another clue? Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. Dude, I freaking love this judge. I mean, even though he's an idiot half the time, but at least he's smart the other half the time. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied with all reasonable doubt has been... Until all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. It's a newly affirmed ally of my country. That's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beef is this due clue to be found? That's a good thing I checked that first. Can I say right here? Is this correct? It's underneath the plate. What? No, counsel, I'm afraid that won't do. That was ambiguous at best. When you're asked to identify a detail like this, you must do so knowing that there is a penalty for mistakes. What am I supposed to do? The answer is right in front of me. I'm sure of it. There's only one thing to do. Turn the steak over and over until I find something to help me out of this mess. I pointed like right... I don't understand. What did I present? Like, I presented like right here, didn't I? This is the only thing that's like lit up. Like when I hover my cursor over this, it highlights, and so does it with the meat here. I'm just gonna get as close as I can, like right here. Try that. What the heck, my dude? Well, I guess I'm dead. That will do. I am now satisfied that no reasonable doubt remains in this matter. The defense has consistently failed to refute adequately the assertions of the prosecution. Accordingly, I hereby announce this court's final verdict. I find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty. Officer, restrain the accused and send the telegraphic communication to Great Britain without delay. The accused will not be granted the right to appeal. That is all. Court adjourned. Alright. Let's run that one back. Yeah, retry from this scene. Yes. This is gonna give me my life back. It is, okay. Let me, oh, so I'm gonna, see, it's not letting me go back to the court record at this point. I don't understand. Can I present, like, the plate itself? What the heck? Okay, well, the only other thing I can present is the emblem. I don't understand what this could mean, though. That's not it either! What the heck? Okay, let me go to the court record on this screen. Let me examine this. Maybe this will give me more information. This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. Seems a lot different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of La Carnival, is it? Like, double check the emblems here. I can't really see the emblem in this. How about this one here? See, that appears exactly the same. The emblem's also on the right side. I don't understand. I'm gonna re-examine this. So now I'm getting this dialogue again. Let's skip through this. And I'm gonna examine this coin exactly now. Yeah, I've seen all this, yeah. Is there anything else here that I can examine? Nothing on the bottom, is it? No. There's nothing about the meat itself. I don't know what to say, like... I'm gonna just present the meat again. Maybe like underneath here, like over here-ish. What? I'm so confused. I've examined the emblem again. Maybe this will give me something new. The emblem on this other side of the plate. Wait, no, I'm already looking at this. Hang on. What? I thought I was presenting something. Am I still in the court record? What? I'm so confused. What is going on here? Am I presenting it? Hang on. Yeah, I know. I've seen this. I'm so confused why the game is... Like, clearly this is the clue. It's just the game is being really weird about me presenting it. Yeah, no. I can't, like, skip through this one as fast as I did last time. Come on. Can I please just present that? Okay, maybe I had to... Because here's what I did last time. I think this is the problem. As I was clicking present, when the meat was, like, down on the plate, I was hitting present. I think what I had to do is I had to push the space bar to, like, lift it up. Which I didn't realize, like, you could do that at the same time. Like the lifting up of the meat and the presenting of the coin were, like, on two different screens. Yeah, I'm upset about that. I died and lost 3 life for that. There we go. Good gracious, that's... A caban? What on earth? Ahoy, Arrow one, at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beef steak you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me. Why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction. Yeah, but the chef wouldn't have that. It's an antique. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoi Kaban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to the Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hoi Kaban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant in the case. I'll give up my lawyer job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Everyone's just shouting at each other. I love this. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it's you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the kaban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... this dude, Curio Collector. Curio Collector. Take that.
Take that.
Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Ryunosuke, Curio Correctuson. Curio... I don't know how to say his name. I understand what the pun is, but I don't understand how to say it correctly. Curie, as in Mr. Cucumber or something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Oh, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Kaban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoi Arrow Kaban, my prize coin. This Hoi Arrow Kaban, do you mean to tell me? No. Please, why would Corrector-san's Kaban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. That's why the plates were switched. Which is why I'm asking to bring Corrector-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Yeah, the sergeant stole the coin. I think is what happened here. I can't believe we come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch. A strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Kaban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Oh my goodness, are they all here? How long is this witness stand, dude? What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly's empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witnesses. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more I have to say. The sun has set on this Ryunosuke shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Correcto-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ryunosuke memory serves, have your... Wah! Yes, that's it. The one. The very exact one, that is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoi treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where is my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Hoi treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. He's standing right next to you, dude. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but are you gonna say you collected both of their stakes? Please tell me that. I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely this Kaban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. Could it really be the sergeant that was doing it the whole time, though? Or was it actually Giselle Brett? I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Correcto-san's Kaban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Thus, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Correcto-san's Kaban and hid it under the steak? I'm gonna say him. Because he was dining with him. I'm gonna say the plates are switched. I really hope I'm not getting ahead of myself and it was actually her. Let's try that. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iasanosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster. Monster? I stole that Kaban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind all this. Excuse me, what? What are you telling me your baby is a thief? You would push the blame of your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. No! Ah! Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Yeah. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iasanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. That was totally random. He was just playing horsey with his son. Don't you just hate when you, like, accidentally panic play horsey in court? Do any of you know the extraordinary low wages that the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes? All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man in his Kaban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang. So he didn't want, because he knew he was going to get searched, right? So he just hid it under the plate, yeah. Yes, when the professor was shot. Oh, maybe he switched the plates. It wasn't Giselle Brett that did it. Okay. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido, too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Can you tell me which plate, though? Which plate did you hide it under? And did you switch them? See, look at that witness stand. Like in the panoramic view we have of their fronts, right? They're all clearly standing in front of, like, a good portion of the counter. Or the stand. But in this one, it's like, it's very obviously not in front of Giselle or, the collector. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Are you serious, my dude? You've said that like 10 times this case already. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the cabal was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. Sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. Let the sergeant say what he wants to say, my dude. Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. No! Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. I bet he's gonna object to this, right? And good day. No, I'm gonna object to this, is what's gonna happen. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Hold it! Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradictions in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin on a lump of meat. Sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure mad. Oh, wait a second. Does the plate we have not have a knife and fork? Yes, I'm right. What you said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Let's look at this. Oh, okay. Examine. Look, there's a knife. Oh, sorry, there's a fork there. There's a fork and knife there. I don't understand. Wait, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be presenting here. I'm gonna guess it's this one right here. The photographic print of the sea taken immediately after the incident occurred. Yeah, there's a knife and fork there, and we don't have that. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. Oh, I understand what it is. Because that's the steak that we have, right? It's very clearly been bitten into, and it's not being, like, cut up. I get it now. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Yeah, she realizes it now. I see you've noticed too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did! She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. And take a good look at this steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. Yeah, there's teeth marks in it. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! Oh! Oh! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, the witness actually claims wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork. There shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But, what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry. Whatever you say, dear lady. As I've said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will all be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to me. I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady! What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last, it's all coming together. Mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. They were switched. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. It's because we don't have it. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be! I don't believe you have it! I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom! And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. This episode's running a little long, but I feel like we're almost at the end, you know? I think I'm just gonna keep going. Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? The Inspector! The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You know what's really odd, though, is that if there was blood on that plate, surely he would have just remembered that there was blood on that plate, and he would have just mentioned that. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. As well as admitting to stealing Correctasan's coin, he told us that he'd slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was it your own plate that you put it under? It was a stake that you put the coin under. In fact, your own stake, yeah. Jun! Affirmative. Of course, I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal. But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two stakes over. No, it was her that switched it. You did switch the plates? Well, oh, what? He did? What? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. Well, I think it's reasonable to assume that either of them could have done it for either reason, you know? So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolts. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. And unbelievable! I love how the way he described that. Operation Lightning Bolt. That's a fun way of saying he just did it very quickly. However, fear not, Prosecutor-son. What now? I swear on my brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant. Yes. So if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Early in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah! She's not gonna like that. That's correct. Yeah, like, surely he would have just remembered, like, oh, you're talking about blood on a plate? Well, the other plate I have has blood on it. Are you sure you don't mean that plate? Like, surely he would have just said that earlier. And please present it to the court now. Oh! The pose! The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case. Objection. No, you're not wriggling your way out this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Just thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have evidence to prove it. The plate you're eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Is this the new one? Sorry for keeping you. Oh yeah, that one's been cut cleanly. Here's the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Oh yeah, there's blood on that. Seriously, dude, how did you not notice that and not bring it up? The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look. Yes. Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah! It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. Are you gonna do the epic pose again, man? Do it, do it, do it. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Do it! Do the pose! That's right. Mr. Zelbrett. Do it! Yes! It's you! Is it time for the breakdown? Outdone? By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! I still find it ridiculous. She has a live, like, swan on her head. Yeah. Ah! Ah! But now we need to know the motive, right? Oh my gosh, what is going on here? We got little chicks on our desk now. Oh, and he's got a little black chick. But yeah, what was her motive, though? Is she gonna reveal that to us? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I placed the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose? Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. Okay, so I thought she had her own gun, but whatever. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Oh, she did have her own gun. Under your skirt? So I was right. there were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, you shot him in the chest, yeah. And then the blood spattered on the plate. So you're telling me you didn't plan the blood splatter? Like, you didn't think about that? Like, how that might implicate you? That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, well, the waiter didn't notice that either. You need to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wisdom from where he picked up the gun. Why is he standing so far to the right? Or to the left, whatever. So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Oh, it's a little more than a misdemeanor. I think you committed a felony. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? No, she's a murderer. I would not meet with anyone who's a confirmed murderer in private. No! I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. I mean, you did kind of frame me for murder. I don't think that's something so easily forgivable. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement? This can't be. Takeuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You better start getting used to tough opposition. Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo? What? Yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. You become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Are you gonna pull out your sword, man? Oh my gosh. Wow, he's about to act. Oh! How did you do that? How did you, like, reach across there with your sword? And cut off his knot. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. I think I remember reading that, Ryunosuke is actually the ancestor of Phoenix Wright. And that's actually quite funny, because that is the case. This trial of the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, present an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it's only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that the science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. You mean more than just photographs. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Osoji? Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything to the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. Why does he look down like that? What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how could I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Here I am, on the stand. It's time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty! Man, Ouchie still looks so shocked. Also, I like how in every game that like him or his brother or I guess the original version of him, you know, Gaspin Payne, Winston Payne, they just go bald at the end. The score's now adjourned. I guess that's minor spoilers for the other Ace Attorney games. It's kind of just a running gag. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. When did we start? It was like, I want to say it was between like 9 and 11, right? That we started. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and I made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha ha ha! No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. That was her. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Our trusty Jujutsu's assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Yeah, thank you for sending that report in. That was really helpful. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research paper of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Oh, yes, of course. We don't need a flashback to this. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Yeah. Susato Mikotoba, Jujutsu Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard of you mention that before. That was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asaji. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear in this, the spirit of the Asaji clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. It cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. Yeah, why did she kill him? It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm sure of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga! It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? Well, clearly England. A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Well, I mean, clearly there's a reason for this. Like, it's the law or something like that. Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. And so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke the consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There's never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. So she can just get away with as many murders as she wants, is that right? Well, can they, like, detain her, though? I guess she must still be, like, detained. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing a murder very seriously. But it's all gonna change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But, Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. But you're not a waiter. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Ahem. Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course! La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. I want to know that too. Oh, now we're over here. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha ha ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Man, I love this music so much. It's so good. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll make the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. What? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat. I never wanted to go through that ever again. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Yeah, just like Phoenix Wright does. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in, and stick to what you're stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can be really backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, and even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believe in your clients. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. In the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Oh yeah, rickshaws. Yeah, there's no cars yet. Let's pick up this conversation again later. Actually, when was the car invented? I'm trying to remember when that was. Should be celebrating now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Whoa, okay then. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. I'd say the inspector did a little more than nothing, my man. Come on. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And that's the end. Oh yeah, I got an achievement for completing episode 1. Oh yeah. Let's save that. Alright guys, what an exciting first case we did there. I really enjoyed that. A really good opening to this game, I would say. Again, there's a few things that didn't really quite make sense to me there. Like, why didn't the waiter bring that up? You know, that there was blood on one of the plates he collected. And we never circled back to why she took the glass with her, too. I thought the whole thing with that is that the poison was gonna be in the glass and not the bottle, but... oh no, who knows. It worked out in the end. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next time, we'll be starting episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. So yeah, hope to see you guys there, and I hope you all have a good day. Talk to you later, guys. Bye!